Hello, welcome to Lesson 31. We're going to be learning about pairs of lines. So those of you that usually love geometry, love shapes, and are better at it, this is going to be a great lesson for you. We have some vocabulary that we're going to remember, we're going to review, and you probably have already learned this before. If you haven't, we'll definitely do some exercises with it so that you'll remember how to draw the correct forms of lines that we have. So, with intersecting, I want you to go ahead and write actually all these definitions down and the examples. Intersect is just simply lines or segments that cross. So if my arms intersect, they would go like this. They're crossing. It could be at any different angle. You can have so many different ways of lines that intersect or lines that cross. You also have in real life, you have many roads in Lubbock that intersect. And we're going to actually talk about specific intersections that we see in Lubbock and that are very, very common. So we also have parallel. Parallel are lines that go in the same direction and do not intersect. So these two would be parallel, or these two lines would be parallel, or you could have two oblique lines that are parallel. So they can be vertical, they can be horizontal, or they can be oblique. Whichever direction they are, they have to go in the same direction, and they will never intersect. Keyword, that's what parallel means. So perpendicular is next, and perpendicular are lines and segments that intersect to form square corners. That's the important part. And square corners, for those of you that remember from maybe 4th grade and learning about angle degrees, that's a 90-degree angle is a square corner. So they specifically intersect to form a 90-degree angle. So that would be exactly like this, or it could be like this, or it could be like this, or it could be like this. They have to intersect to form a square corner. There we go. That's kind of hard to make with your arms. So lines and segments intersect to form square corners. So I labeled or I drew my square corner right here, meaning I can make a square out of it and it forms a perfect right angle. So example, this is actually example 2. It's the only one we're going to look at for today before we do some exercises in class and demonstrate our knowledge of these vocabulary words. So example 2 says, which of the following does not contain perpendicular segments? Perpendicular, again, lines and segments that intersect to form square corners, or otherwise known as a right angle. There's actually many, many streets in Lubbock that intersect at a right angle. So that was kind of like street intersections. There's a lot of them in Lubbock that are perpendicular to one another. So which of the following does not contain perpendicular segments? Go ahead and write your answer down. Well, let's look at this. Can I make a square corner out of this? Yes, I can make a pretty good square corner out of this. I know it's not perfect. It's just angled in a different direction, but that is a right angle. Letter B. This is definitely a right angle or a square corner. So that means they're perpendicular. Only I could draw a square. There we go. Letter C. I can't draw a square out of that. No matter how much I tried, it's not going to be a perfect square. So C is actually my answer, because letter D, if we look at this one, I can actually draw a square corner from here. I can draw a square corner here. And also on all of these other corners, they are all perfectly square corners or right angles, because that's how the two lines intersect. So letter C would be your answer. So the ones that we're reviewing over, or the ones that we learned for today, we have intersect. That means they cross, they touch each other, they intersect one another. We have parallel lines that do not intersect, and they go in the same direction. So they're either oblique, they're horizontal, or vertical, there we go, oblique or horizontal. And then we also have perpendicular lines that intersect at a right angle, just like this. Okay, thank you very, very much for listening.